everybody. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the first of many to come virtual panel discussions. My name is Tara, and I am the CEO of TNS Publishing, and I am out of Virginia. So what is really unique is that we have a great group of ladies here that are located all over the U.S., along with many of you attendees are also located all over the U.S. So this is great. I want to thank you for joining us. I've had the pleasure of working with these extraordinarily wonderful women over the last few months. They all share a few things in common. They are co-authors in the book Women in Business Leading the Way. And they are also all certified by WBENC as certified women-owned businesses. They are also the founders, and they are kicking this off, the hashtag Pink Shoe Sisters, which is a sisterhood that they have developed while doing this book and has made them extremely unique in the process. So as we go through, I'm going to ask a couple questions of these wonderful women. They're going to give us their answers, and then we are going to open up the floor. So you ladies and gentlemen that are attending will be able to go through the chat, ask them individual questions, or ask overall questions. So without further ado, let's get this party started, as they like to say. And I'm going to go around the room and let each individual introduce themselves. And so we're going to start off. My screen may display differently, so I apologize, but I'm going to start off here with Miss Amy. So Amy, if you will unmute yourself and introduce yourself, tell us who you are, your company name, and where you're coming in from.
Thank you, Tara. I'm the CEO and toxicologist for SteelFusion Clinical Toxicology Laboratory, and we're located in Menneson, Pennsylvania. We are a premier toxicology laboratory that provides a distinct method of drug and alcohol testing, utilizing oral fluid and urine. With our unmatched turnaround times, we provide drug testing for multiple entities, such as rehabilitation centers, probation, pre-employment, staffing agencies, and even medical examiners and coroners.
Wow. So I know you're busy this time in our economy, but thank you. Ms. Lauren.
Hi, my name is Lauren Sustek. I am the president and founder of Bartkowski Life Safety. We're a specialty contractor that focuses on life safety installations in both new commercial construction and in existing facilities such as hospitals, nursing homes, and schools. We're located in South Holland, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Miss April.
Yes, hi Tara. I'm April Davis with ADS Design Solutions. We are located in Birmingham, Alabama, and we specialize in commercial design as well as construction and project management. And I specialize in education facilities as well as athletic facilities nationwide.
Awesome, awesome. And Miss Julie.
Hi, thank you, Tara. Hi, I'm Julie Parmar, the CEO of Vegetarian Naturals. We're located here in Austin, Texas. Vegetarian Naturals is a vitamin line for children. All of our vitamin formulas are vegetarian and made with all natural sugar, color, and flavor blends. All of our products are gelatin-free, fish-free, and third-party tested for purity. And our mission is focused on sustainability and promoting health and wellness.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Miss Pamela.
Thank you, Tara, very much. My name is Pamela Stambaugh, and my core capabilities, I'm an executive coach and team facilitator for over 30 years. I'm in San Diego, California, working globally, and the San Diego Convention Center, which has temporarily been turned into a homeless shelter, has been a client for 2 years. And the CEO, Rip, told me the other day, the good news is we're benefiting from all your good coaching. We're bringing frankness to hard conversations, leaving the room unified, which makes my heart sing.
Very
I'm
nice.
coaching managers free of charge through June, so let's talk about that if that's of value to you.
Wonderful, thank you. And then we come to Miss Kristen.
Hello, my name is Kristin Billingsley. I'm the president of Heavy Duty Bus Parts located in Willis, Texas. We are a lighting and seating manufacturer in the school bus industry. As well, my mission is KB's Community. It's a health and wellness hub that focuses on chakra energy work utilizing sound frequency. We're located online from Montgomery, Texas. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for joining us. Miss Leticia.
Hello, my name is Leticia Latino. I'm CEO of Neptuno USA, based in Miami, Florida. Although we are an international company, we have deployed over 10,000 telecommunication sites. So put in simple terms, we build the tall telecom towers that you see next to the highway and that enable communications and Zoom meetings like this. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. And Miss Marcy?
Hi, I'm Marcy Klein. I am the CEO and Emmy-winning television director at Klein Creative Media. And we tell stories with video that create an impact while promoting your brand recognition without the Emmy price tag. I've spent over 20 years as a reality television director on shows like Dr. Phil, Inside Edition, and E! Entertainment Television. And I use that experience to guide and coach real people through the intimidating process of appearing on camera. And people want to appear on camera to grow their business with things like explainer videos, introductory videos, honorary videos, sales presentations, and you name it, any kind of video you need for business, we help produce it for you. And we are located in Redondo Beach, California.
Very nice. And Miss Joan?
Hello, I'm Joan Brothers, the CEO of Manhattan Boutique Real Estate. We are located in New York City. We're experts in residential real estate as well as commercial and development.
Great. Miss Juliet?
Good morning. Thank you, Tara, and thank you, Klein Creative Media, for creating our virtual backgrounds for the Zoom webinar chat. My name is Juliet Aydin, and I am the owner and CEO of Jewels Obsession, and we are a retail jewelry, specifically catering online to all major marketplaces. And thank you for having us today.
Thank you. And Miss Bonni?
Hi, my name is Bonni Shevin-Sandy. I'm the CEO of Diversity Promos, and Diversity Promos pretty much stands for itself. It's a diversity company that sells promotional products, but in addition to that, what we do differently is we have our own patents, over 54 counting, and we also give back to the community, and we're actually doubling our give back for the COVID-19 virus right now.
Great. Thank you very much. And last but not least, Miss Marianne.
Hi, I'm speaking to you from Silicon Valley. We were the first ones to go shelter in place with COVID. So we've been doing this for a long time now, but we're also want to thank everybody that's joining us today. So a shout out to the 162 participants. CEO Success Community, what we do is we help diversity and women business owners fast track their revenue and growth, primarily with corporate contracts, but also with WBE to WBE. At this time, since we are a virtual online community, there is about 30 CEOs. We all support each other for growth. We are right now offering a free Zoom Maximizer session. We were just offered it this morning. We've had MGM, Chevron, NMSDC. We are offering it so that everybody can make the leap to virtual corporate contracting. Additionally, we offer a sales maximizer, a virtual conference maximizer. We also have an entrepreneurial flight to 20 million plus. So we are here to serve the diversity and women-owned businesses. Thanks.
Oh, that was a lot of information, ladies. All of you do something so different and so unique. So that's wonderful. Thank you very much. Great introductions. I'm going to, in advance, apologize if you hear me typing, and I hope that doesn't distract anybody. I'm trying to answer questions in the chat at the same time with our attendees that are asking. So some great questions have already started coming in. So I'm going to go around the room and ask some of you some individualized questions, and then we'll get to attendees' questions. So
Tara, really quick, I also wanted to introduce a couple of CEOs that are part of our book that were not able to because of client commitments or employee commitments. I also wanted to do a shout out to 2 other authors.
Yes, please. My apologies. Yes, thank you.
I'm your backstop girl. So Suzanne O'Brien is the CEO of Blake Rain Consulting. If you have a need for staffing She is headquartered in Washington, which was the first hotspot, and she just opened up in California. So again, that's Blake Rain Consulting, Suzanne O'Brien. And the second, we call them Pink Shoe Sisters because we are all publishing this book and working hard together, is Patty Taulbee. She is the CEO of Plantlife Natural Body. And I appreciate KB just giving me a shout out. We all really watch out for each other. Patty is offering for every bar of soap that's purchased online with her company, she will give away a bar of soap. So I think everyone here is trying to take care of their customers, employees, families, as well as each other. So again, that's Plantlife Natural Body. Thank you.
Thank you so much for reminding me. My apologies. I have a lot of paperwork in front of me, guys. So we're actually going to start with Miss KB. We call Kristen KB, by the way. So Kristen's actually going to answer her question here for us. So KB, what are some tools that you would actually suggest to other business owners to help them manage their stress factors that they're currently facing in this pandemic?
Well, my first suggestion would be to breathe. Take a deep breath. That's a lot of times we catch ourselves in stressful moments holding our breath. So just ground yourself and breathe. Meditate, exercise, be physical. And another thing is to tap into our inner child. Tap into our inner child and ask that little person inside of us, what would make you happy today? What would bring a smile to your face? And do that. If it's a bath, if it's jump roping, if it's running, if it's playing with your kids, a puzzle, coloring, numerous things, tap into that. And I'm going to teach you a quick technique. We're going to do it as a group. So if everyone will just close their eyes for a minute, take a deep breath, and we're going to run our energy down into the core, the middle of Mother Earth. Take a deep breath, feel her energy, feel her nutrients coming into our bodies. We're going to take our breath up, and we're going to connect with source, whatever source is to you. God, angels, divine, you label it, whatever's comfortable with you, connect to that. Bring that down into your heart. So now you have Mother Earth and your source in your heart. Now expand your heart, take a breath and just expand your heart into your field. Expand it wider into the room you're sitting in. Expand it wider into your city, your town. Expand it wider into the state. Expand it wider into the whole US. And then expand it even wider and encompass our earth. And then as you do that, you bring your breath in from above, down the back of your spine, and up through your chakras. So we're going to go through our root chakra, our sacral chakra, our solar plexus, our heart, our throat, our third eye, and our crown, and just cycle that breath. So that was you can open your eyes and come back to. That was a very quick method just to bring it to your awareness, so you can slow that down and expand it however long. It could be an hour meditation, a 5-minute, a 30-second, minute, but utilize that, and that just centers and grounds you and gets you into your body and raises your vibration. Because if we keep our vibration up and we're vibrating more at the love vibration rather than the fear, it's going to allow us to make wiser choices to move forward in this journey.
Thank
Awesome.
you. I needed that.
Thank you.
I love all of y'all and all the participants.
And I'm just going to tell the participants a little secret. I just kind of popped this out on everybody and went out of sequence as to what we had originally planned to deliver you, because I just thought it would be a great way to kick it off and to get everybody ready and energized and feeling good, because we have enough negative in our society. So KB, again, thank you very much. I'm going to start going around the room. I'm actually going to kind of go backwards, but I'm going to go back to where we should have started from, and I'm going to go around the room and ask everybody just to briefly tell me how this pandemic has affected you, as far as your business, and then what you're doing briefly to pivot it and to bring kind of some positive into it. So we're going to start with Miss Marianne.
So for me personally at CEO Success Community and our company, we were very excited to be speakers and lead coaching and business coaching in the lab at WeBank Summit and Salute that was originally scheduled for March in Nashville, which got canceled. So when that got taken away, that wonderful opportunity, we are waiting to hear what WeBank National will do with Summit and Salute and the national events. But we had to quickly pivot and say, okay, we also had CEOs that we were coaching. So what we've done is we've pivoted from maximizing a conference in person to maximizing corporate contracts virtually. So it really, in a way, and I love where KB just sent all of us, let's try to stay in the positive zone. It gave us a big shove to get more digital, to get more efficient, to allow people to do more from their homes. And so that's what we're focusing on. Additionally, I'm working with WeBank West, and we are pivoting. I was supposed to be in all these different states in the West Coast right now with Platinum Supplier, one of their signature programs. And now we're going to be launching that also digitally for newly certified WBEs, hopefully starting in May. So it's a push. It was a shock, but we're moving forward.
Great, great. Thank you so much. And then let's go over to Miss Marcy.
So I'm a video producer as a production company. Normally my business, we are out in the field with the camera crew shooting interviews and B-rolls, or I'm bringing people into my studio to shoot B-roll and interviews. And all of a sudden that went to a complete halt. And I had the opportunity to either freak out, which I didn't want to do, or shift, as we all are having to do. And so one of the things that I decided to do is I came up with I think it's a kind of an innovative idea using technology that we're all on right now, which is Zoom. So I'm encouraging businesses to utilize Zoom and my services I take their on-camera interview like we're doing right now, and I can actually record it from the Zoom conversation and incorporate that into a professional video with stock video and infographics to create a complete package. Because I'm not sure if you guys are like me, but I'm getting bombarded every day with emails and with tips and information, and it's really valuable stuff, but I've got this like full page of information to read. Well, reading is not as effective because people retain 95% more of a message if it's delivered in video versus only 10% if it's delivered in writing. So I'm really encouraging businesses who have great information to share that they want to get out to do so in the form of a video.
That's awesome. Awesome. All right, so Miss Joan.
So yes, we're located in New York City, so business has come to a hard stop. No one's really interested in dealing with real estate right now. So, and I think that's rightfully so. So really your big question was, how have we pivoted now? So we've tried to be smart and be thinking in the short term about what does New York City need and what are our skills, and we actually know real estate. And one of the things New York City and New York State needs is properties for reuse of what they have specifically. So we're trying to connect some of our clients who own real estate to New York City's emergency services to see if they can find uses for whatever they specifically need. And then of course, we are thinking of our business, and when things come back, and they will, have faith, we're re-envisioning how we present our marketing materials and the process that we cater to our clients. So, you know, in the short term, our business is not effective right now, but think long term. Thanks.
Great answer, great answer. Miss Juliet.
Pivoting and just trying to adjust and make sure that everybody's health comes first and their safety comes first. So we are following the same protocol that everybody else is following. And, you know, we're just trying to take care of our customers by answering their emails and reassuring them that, you know, the orders are being processed and we're here for them should they need anything. And hopefully this is the time that will pass, and we're all hopefully we can go out and spend some time outside and hang out with our family and our friends again. So this is just a very unusual time that everybody is just adjusting to it. And as much as I am a homebody, it's not to this extent. So I do hope that things progress and do get better, and that hopefully we can all connect, not just virtually, but we can also maybe get together and have a in-person meeting one day with all of you lovely ladies.
Great, thank you. Then Miss Bonni.
Yes, Miss Tara. I our company has pivoted in different ways. We're used to doing in-person presentations, going to see our customers, showing them the latest and greatest, coolest items, some which we patent ourselves, and we can't do that anymore. So just like we've been discussing, doing these virtual webinars and these virtual platforms have been a savior for us. And as I've been trying to consult with other businesses and other friends that are having issues, it's the same thing. It's affecting everybody because we import a lot. We're importing from all different areas of the world, and the pandemic is worldwide. So if we think this is just going to affect us for a few months, you know, we're fooling ourselves. I'm a realist. This is going to affect us for years. So think of your plan B. Make sure you have a solvable, visible, viable business plan to move forward. Encourage those around you. And there's strength within numbers. I mean, what I'm seeing right now, even writing this book with these fabulous ladies, is that we become book sisters. We rely on each other. We actually reference each other. We learn from each other. We encourage each other. And it's amazing. I mean, there's a whole network out there that we're not utilizing. And even though we can't see each other face to face, it doesn't mean business should stop there. It means you have to go and grow and learn different platforms. That might be not in your realm of expertise, but it's going to have to be for the near future in order for your business to grow and develop and flourish.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Miss Leticia.
Thanks, Tara. So being in the communications industry, you can imagine we've been affected in the sense that we cannot send field personnel international. We're about 200 technicians around the world. So we've had some project stop, logistical issues. Domestically, obviously, we've been called to assist networks so that we can increase capacity. So we've had to pivot in recalibrating priorities, reaching out to customers and assessing which projects are essential to them. And I think it's a great opportunity for all of your businesses to really reach out to your customers, to your market, and understand what is a priority. I think what we're going through is cutting a lot of the BS, excusing the word, of the projects that might or might not happen. This is a unique opportunity. We all have to really reach out to our customers, generate empathy. We're all on the same boat, and really try to get from them what is important and how can I help you right now. And I think that that goes a long way for pivoting.
Very good. Thank you. And Miss Pamela.
Thank you, Tara. Yeah, so my business, I have been using Zoom for several years now, so I'm quite comfortable with the platform. What I've seen, though, is that people who are now managing remote people are struggling, and they're trying to repurpose, trying to rethink their futures. I'm offering myself as a committed listener to people who are managing remote field people and who isn't today. If you've got people that you're working with, obviously you're working remotely. Right. So I'm clear that there's a lot of rethinking of the future. People are planning their futures differently than they were when they made their plan. So a one-page business plan, I can certainly help with that remotely. That's my plan, and April, May, and June, I just don't expect any revenue. I want to help. And so that's where I've pivoted to say, communicate, execute, optimize. What does that look like in the new normal?
Very good. Thank you. Very, very valuable. And KB.
Hello. Thank you, Tara. Okay, so we are a manufacturing company for school bus parts. So being closed, schools closed and buses not running has changed our whole dynamic. So we became resourceful, and we decided that we could repurpose our manufacturing line, utilizing our equipment that we have, raw goods, and then some raw goods that are en route at this present moment to produce personal protective equipment. So PPE masks. So it's all of the masks that are really being needed right now. Our general manager, Brandon Smeltzer, he has created a prototype, the N95 mask. And with our amazing staff, we're now at version 2. And we have sent it out to NIOSH. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correct, right? It's new to me as well. Conformity for testing. This project has allowed our employee morale to stay boosted, allowed our doors to stay open, our employees to stay employed. And most importantly, it's providing a safety product. We're in the safety industry with school buses, with the seat covers, the lighting. Safety is super important, and we test all of our products. So this is expanding our line. And the most important part is that we're providing safety products to help protect our warriors that are out fighting for us and keeping everything flowing in the best way that our new normal is shaping and moving towards.
Great way to create sustainability. And Miss Julie.
Hi, thank you, Tara. Well, vegetarian naturals has not been affected much since we're in the health and wellness industry and most of our customer audience is online. However, sales have gone down due to the current economic situation caused by the pandemic. So what we're doing is we're giving back to the community, and we're now providing free vitamins to families who were affected by COVID-19.
Awesome, wonderful, wonderful. Miss April.
Yes, so myself being located in Alabama, Alabama was one of the last 4 states that actually reported a COVID virus. So within that, so we haven't been dealing with this as long as Joan or Marianne or the other folks in California. There's quite a bit of y'all in California, but I am within the largest city in the state of Alabama, which is Birmingham. So we are not on a full shelter in the state. However, Birmingham is directly affected me and my business because I'm not allowed to get out and go to job sites and things like that I need to do on a regular basis. So I depend, a lot on my contractors and subs sending me information daily so that I get updates that's going on. And we also are limited to permits now, so no new jobs can start. So that's a little bit difficult, but we all have, plenty to do for the time being. So right now, I just spend a lot of time on the phone, and I really want to say thank you to all my contractors and subs that are out there daily, still willing to keep on keeping on, because it's just so important. While we're all in this, we still all got to keep going. So, we all got to work together and not against each other. So that's the biggest thing I think we can do, as a group, because we're all in it together at the end of the day.
That's so true. So true. And Miss Lauren?
So we're in a position where our office has shut down, but our construction job sites, being deemed essential, are still running full steam ahead. So it's affected us to the point where we're figuring out how to support our projects remotely with limited office resources. We're turning to Zoom a lot for morning and afternoon check-ins, and we're having safety huddles over the phone. We're also investing in our vendors, in our inventory, and putting larger financial resources out there to ensure that if this continues for several more months, our projects not only have the labor, but the materials to continue our essential work.
Very good. And last but not least, again, Miss Amy.
Hi, Tara. Thank you. As you can all hear from what the other ladies are saying, that sustainability is going to vary from industry to industry. We see that. I am so fortunate with SteelFusion. We actually call ourselves Team Fusion, that we're able to operate at full capacity. A lot of the other laboratories that are around us now are struggling, trying to keep up with this pandemic, doing their toxicology testing with our unique oral fluid testing that we've actually patented. We have 5 U.S. patents, 3 U.S. patents, 2 pending, and we're on the national platform for the European Union in 28 countries. It's going to cause a lot of work for us, which is great. But in the meantime, we still have to be able to keep up with other laboratories that are needing help. As most people don't probably know, well, maybe they do know, with the news every day, if you're watching, this pandemic has really, really put behind our major laboratories with getting tests created so we can test our folks sooner than later. We're actually partnering up with a couple of folks right now that are in the process of needing our help, which is great news for us because, you know, we have the capability and capacity to go ahead and take that load and that overburden off of them so they can go ahead and take care of the virus and we can take care of the toxicology testing. And with our unique patented methodology that we have with oral fluid, it's amazing that I would have never have thought that this year was going to be, not only do we have such an increase in drug overdose deaths with opioid addiction and overdose deaths, but now we have this extra virus now that's plaguing us. So we're getting two bangs for our buck. It's not a good thing. So my advice is, if you do stay open, you follow our lead actually and increase the carefulness in which you clean. We're very, very crazy when it comes to cleaning in the laboratory. We've changed some practices and we consider ourselves as a good lab, good lab practices in our laboratory, because we need to follow those and treat everything like it's a biohazard because we don't know what we're getting in the door.
Right,
so,
right.
You can bring your germs in and so can everybody else. So try to be careful.
Thank you very much, Amy. So our listeners joined us today to talk about sustainability. So I've got some individual questions I'm going to pop around, and then we're going to kind of do some Q&A because there's been some questions asked by the attendees, and I want to make sure we can get to that and still respect their time. So very quickly, so one of the questions I know that's boiling in my brain because I haven't been able to join in on any of these coaching sessions. Marianne, you do a lot of coaching. So I'm curious as to what recommendations you give to your coaches during your CEO sessions.
So we just had a big CEO session yesterday, and just so that people can understand, it's a range of companies from below 1 million, which is what 97% of small businesses are. So if you're below 1 million, you're doing, don't worry, and up to 20 million plus. And I think what we were sharing yesterday on a call really had to do with, first of all, the reality level set, in case you feel you're alone, is according to the National Small Business Association, 49% of CEOs are saying their business is down. So you're not alone. I say, don't panic. Let's soldier on, is what I would say. And we are looking in 5 areas. One, in terms of resource, as well as most of you know, the SBA just released their application and fact sheet for the payroll protection plan. And you can start submitting by this Friday. Secondly, as a practical, I just want to give you guys some quick practical suggestions because that's what we're all about at CEO Success Community. Number 2, look at your business insurance. You might have business interruption insurance and not even realize that. Number 3, we're looking at the whole area of cash management. And a lot of CEOs now are being pushed to do cash up front on their supplies. So there is an option to go direct merchant using a credit card. American Express just dropped their percentage to 2.2. There's also another WBE who has a service that can help you in that area. We are also looking at your employees and what can be done for your employees. I have a lot of manufacturing CEOs that can no longer use time cards. They used to go on site for spills and hazmat. They're now having to rent vans to get their employees there. So all of us are being creative and looking for solutions. And for those conferences where you had budgeted attending, repurpose that money for marketing and outreach. So there's lots to do. We're here to help, and don't panic. We're all gonna be okay.
That's great. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna kind of jump around here a little bit to answer also to address some of the questions that have been asked within the chat. So Joan, I'm coming over to you because you've had a couple of New York questions asked. So you're in the real estate business, you're located in New York. Can you tell us, what have you looked into as far as some resources that might be available?
Sure. Thankfully, there are quite a lot of resources available. And actually, Marianne mentioned the SBA, which was brilliant. That's a federal that every one of us can take advantage of as a business, which is wonderful. Specific to New York City, we have what's called the Small Business Services So SBS New York City, you can Google it. They're an incredible group. They have put out fairly immediately when things were happening in New York, something called New York City Small Business Continuity Loan Program, and also something called New York City Employee Retention Grant Program. Google those. They're too much detail for me to go into, but specifically both are very applicable to New York City businesses, mostly small, but then there are opportunities for other large firms as well. And not only is Small Business Services helping with existing businesses, but we actually had a new business in 2019, and they're even helping with that one, Smart NY Solutions. So they're incredible. And check your local organizations, because your local organizations, your state and national industries, your chambers of commerce, they're all incredibly helpful. Just to highlight what Marianne said, there's the SBA, there's the Economic Injury Disaster Assistance, and there's Paycheck Protection Program, PPP. So you've got lots of things out there, and I believe the states are kind of relying on the federal, but again, your local could be quite incredibly helpful for you. I hope that answers the question.
I think so. I think that gives them some good insight. So thank you very much for sharing that. I'm going to jump over here to Lauren. Lauren, I know that you have an extensive business, so I'd like for you to tell us a little bit about what you might be doing for your employees and looking into and so forth.
Oh, of course. So this is twofold for us. First, for our field employees that are reporting to job sites every single day, our #1 goal is safety. We've instituted strict guidelines for everyone to follow with regards to the social distancing on job sites, how many people that we're allowing to ride in a skip or an elevator, and the required PPE that they have to wear at all times, not just during specific tasks as if it was before the virus. For our office, our goal is to keep everyone intact. We're staying regularly engaged and providing support to allow everyone to do their jobs remotely. Furthermore, we have spoke with our local bank and our CPA, and we are going to be applying for the Paycheck Protection Program offered by the SBA because this is the best option for my company. We have a larger payroll, and this loan is going to allow me to keep my entire staff, my entire company intact for 8 weeks, regardless of what happens next. So I encourage everyone to get with their banker and their CPA and to take advantage of the numerous programs that are being offered to small businesses. And if you're a business owner right now, I think most importantly, you need to over communicate with your staff. Now more than ever, they need to hear from you. Thank you.
That's great. And actually that takes me right over to Miss Pamela. So Miss Pamela, I know that you work with a lot of businesses and a lot of CEOs and high-end executives. So what are your suggestions to them as far as their communication with not only staff, but their clients and potential clients?
Well, thank you, Tara. Yes. So first of all, the thing that makes anybody you're working with most comfortable is to communicate first that which you're certain about. Your certainty may be questionable for you right now. So, but you need to provide space for others to have certainty, and that's really a leader's job. So if you aren't certain about anything else, hopefully you're certain about your values as an organization and can talk about how those will play out in this new normal. Secondly, it's natural to feel like you should restrict, but in fact, I would recommend as a leader that you don't tighten the reins, which constricts flow, just like KB was talking about, breathe. Instead, provide clear boundaries and loosen the reins. And that gives people permission to try new things, to fail, and even celebrate their failures, not just their successes. And I want to reiterate also that if you haven't checked with your banker, they're being very generous right now. That's one of the tangible things you can do is get some relief from whatever loans you may have currently. And then secondly, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce is doing a daily update. And if you haven't subscribed to that, I highly recommend it. From the standpoint of what can you be certain about, there's a lot of information being provided. Access that for yourself and for your people. Keep them informed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have an attendee question that I'm going to go back up to Lauren on real quick, just because you were talking about it, and Marianne, you might want to chime in on this one. But the question is, if you have applied for the SBA PPP loan, can you furlough their employees until they get the loan? Or do they have to stay actively employed? And if we don't know the answer, we'll refer them back to the SBA. But did you check into that, Lauren?
Yeah, so there is a fact sheet that came out with the SBA, and my understanding is that we have until June 30th to restore full-time employment and salary levels for any changes made between February 15th and April 26th. So my best advice would be whichever local lender you're going to be working with, they're going to be the individual, that bank is going to be the individual who's looking at your previous year's payroll, approving your loan, and then approving the documentation you provide for forgiveness. So I can recommend that you should go to your banker so you have a better understanding of how they're going to be looking at your usage of that money.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Tara, if it would be helpful, the SBA fact sheet that Lauren's talking about, it answers, it's got all of those kind of questions on there, because there are a lot of CEOs I know that have had to furlough and want to bring back. And again, anything we say on this call, we want to remind everyone, please check with your CPA, your banker, your CFO, your medical professional. We are offering suggestions, not recommendations. We want to be careful. The other thing that I would say, not to storm, but there is, as they put in the fact sheet, there is a limited amount of money on this. So you do want to reach out quickly to your bank and to your financial team.
Yes, very much so. I know we're getting a little sidetracked than what we had planned, ladies, but we've got quite a few questions coming in and limited time. So I'm going to kind of shift back and forth. So I apologize that we're getting off track. There is a question that's directed towards Marianne, but Joan, you may want to chime in, because this young lady is Juliet. She's located in New York. She sells commercial washer extractors, linings, and towels. And she wants to know how she can apply to supply government and non-government companies with those products in New York during this crisis. Is there any certain avenue that she might need to look into?
So 2 links to go to immediately is NYC SBS, that's for Small Business Services. You can go there and you can connect. And then there's also New York City Emergency Services. I think both of those links are really clearly delineated on who you can call and what you can do for your specific product.
I would add, I think Joan answered it brilliantly because she's in New York and I'm in Silicon Valley, but I would add one more. I feel that WeBank National, so if you are a WBE or an NMSDC, the associations are doing an outstanding job. So I would suggest I can speak to WeBank, that's what I'm certified for. So if you go on webank.org, they have COVID, a drop down with resources. And if you're part of the regionals, again, shout out to WeBank West, Dr. Pamela Williamson. She's doing an outstanding job of pushing out the information to her, business owners in her region. So national and regional, there's also information there too.
Perfect. So I'm going to get back on track a little bit because it's something that I think we haven't approached yet, but I want to make sure that we get into this topic a little bit. And Miss Bonni, this brings you in. So typically, from what you and I have discussed this time of the year, you normally are in Hong Kong. So with the travel bans that are in place, having to run a business that's, both here and internationally, under the current circumstances, you haven't been able to travel. So what have you done in order to adjust your company, and what do you think that would be good for others to consider within their business?
It's a kind of double-edged sword, because on one hand, we're sustaining the US, so I'm selling a lot more USA made products, which is outstanding, which we love, because we're also, besides the WBNC, we're also veteran military, so we're proud to be able to do that. Just like a lot of the ladies have been discussing during this whole webinar, we are changing over some of our companies so we can provide USA made items for what we need for our own medical uses, as well as helping our other fellow countries. So I think that's going to be something that's going to be elaborate for the future. How is it going to, sustain my business personally? It's basically with us giving back, we're just going to keep on giving back as much as we can. And just like Pamela, I'm offering my services for free. And I have been doing that through the WBNC as this is my 10th year. And anyone who wants to contact me, please do feel free. I would love to help out any way I can, anyone I can connect you with. And I just feel that if we just stick together, we can help each other. And there's still market share out there. Let's get that.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm going to do a little shift here. Miss April, because I know everybody's being affected by this, especially in your industry and some other industries, because you have some really strict deadlines that you have to meet. And of course, various things because of this crisis that have caused an effect to that. What are you doing to overcome that with your clients and with your vendors?
Well, the first thing is, going back to what Pamela was saying, having conversations and just being upfront and honest with your clients that deadlines aren't going to be met right now. Unfortunately, it just is what it is. The biggest thing that we're running into is product. A lot of these manufacturers have been shut down, kind of going back to what Bonni was saying. So I actually started back in February when the virus was, really starting to, come within the U.S. I actually decided that I would rewrite specifications on my job sites that were in the United States to keep product only within the U.S. So I hated to do that, especially because I depend a lot on Italy. That's where I get most of my tile for my jobs, and it breaks my heart. It really does. But, I just didn't want to take more chances in bringing in product from different countries. So I was trying to do my part, and we're all trying to do our part. And the biggest thing is, I've told my clients we'll find substitutions and we'll find temporary solutions as well. That's all we can do. And eventually things will get back to normal and we can make things happen then.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you very much. I'm going to shift back up here to Miss Amy. So Amy's in the toxicology industry. So Amy, we already know, you deal a lot with a little bit of technology that is beyond our reach, something that we don't do on a normal basis in all of your testing. But as far as business communication, what have you found that you've had to bring in to help your business through this crisis?
This is a good question, Tara. If I could just piggyback off of April, the one thing that distinguishes our company with what she's saying about how things are taking longer, because she's not wrong. A lot of folks aren't at work, where we're fortunate enough that we can be at work so we can service the public and our sisters and our loved ones as well. The good thing about us is that our turnaround time for our specimen results that are brought to our customers is 24 to 48 hours. And you're getting a confirmation where that's not reality right now, or usually, and without this coronavirus, it's not a reality. That's what makes our methodology so unique and simple and safe and easy to use. So not only do we have that, but with, we use transfer protocols to assure that our testing results are compliant with HIPAA regulations to protect the patient's information. Additionally, we're also using technology to have our differentiation as a process and as a company be known and appreciated through the use of our website. We actually, now have gotten our website up and running, and that's changed drastically with different types of customers that are calling us. We also have recently increased our social media presence as well. I'm pretty new at that. Everybody knows I don't even have a Facebook account until I just got one with you. So that's pretty pathetic, but I'm pretty busy with emails. So I figured in a way for us to increase our exposure and promote upcoming webinars and publications and lab accomplishments and so on, that's the way to go. And especially with, everybody's at home and they're on their computers. So how do we reach everybody? And it's quite interesting because I had my first telemedicine webinar yesterday for my knee, and that was quite an eye-opener. So I think the women here on this panel are absolutely correct when they say that this is not going to be over in a few months. This may be a couple of years. So we're trying to reposition ourselves as well, that we can actually talk to our customers quickly and get those results out so people can go ahead and get their pain medications or bury their loved ones. And that's a problem right now, is because it takes, when these folks are dying, we don't know if they have COVID. And the funeral homes and other morgues, they do not want to hold on to the bodies. It's just,
Right.
we don't know. So
Right.
This is kind of what we're in the middle of, is trying to talk with each other via the net to figure out how we can get those results out sooner than later.
Great. Thank you so much. Now we're going to shift over because we have such a wide array of industries, which I think is magnificent. Marcy, Miss Marcy Klein, you are in a very service directive industry. So what have you done within Klein Creative Media in order to create sustainability that's really focused in that service-oriented industry?
Yeah, well, definitely have had to do some changes. And to bounce off of Amy, Amy wants to increase her exposure right now and reach more customers. And that's really what I was doing prior to the this pandemic. I was helping businesses do that. And I didn't really want to stop doing that. So in order to sustain, I've had to really honestly just come up with innovations. One of the things I still can do is I'm a drone pilot, so I can still do drones, which is a great opportunity to, real estate people are my clients a lot, and I can help a lot of realtors who may not have taken advantage of drone and because they can't do open houses. So I'm trying to think of people who I can help who, through my technology and through innovations. The other thing is using Zoom technology, as I explained earlier, I can really help people continue to get their message across. But normally, and I have to kind of reinvent myself, the backplates that you're seeing behind us, I never thought that about making a backplate for a Zoom conference. So that's going to be kind of a new idea that I have that I can offer. So I think it's just about a lot of rethinking of what we do, but how to do it in a different way to sustain, to keep our doors open. Because, my heart goes out to everybody who has had challenges in their business, and it's just everybody. We're not alone in this. We're all together. So my heart's with everybody, and hopefully I can help with, if anyone needs an on-camera coaching, because what we're doing here is we're all talking, and the way we look on camera, the way our lighting is, the way we angles, that's something that I can help. And please feel free to call me if you want a complimentary little coaching, and I can help make your Zoom conferences look a little better.
Awesome. That's such a nice offer. So I'm going to still stick on the business line before we switch over, and I've kind of saved for a little bit here towards the end as far as the individual question. Not all of us are deemed essential companies. Only certain companies are deemed that way. And of course, if you're as your own company operator, you'll know that. But Leticia, you are considered deemed essential. Am I correct?
Yeah, as of 15 days ago, yes.
So as a CEO, what's your advice to your fellow business owners that are deemed essential? How does that affect you a little differently than others? And
okay, thanks, Tara. And I say jokingly 15 days ago, because this is changing on the go, and you would have thought that communication companies would have been deemed essential way before a pandemic like this, but it took COVID-19 to make the government realize that if they don't have the communication companies up and running, we cannot do any of the things we're doing right now. We've been talking about Zoom and communications, and we're really stressing our networks out. And so I'm big on sharing this message. So 15 days ago, Department of Homeland Security included communications as an essential industry. I suggest that if you're not familiar with that website, go and visit Department of Homeland Security. All the industry that are deemed essentials are there together with some important guidelines. So for us, what it has changed is understanding the nature of these new dynamics. The fact that we're deemed essential puts us in a stressful situation because you want to be out there and help. But as the leader of my company, I also very concerned about the health of my workers and my employees, and obviously doing everything to protect them and their own health. So I think that you have to define the expectations with your customers into what you're willing to do and not willing to do, because at this time it's purpose over profit for us. It's like being driven by that, but at the end of the day, you have to still have a company at the end of all this. You cannot just jump out of the ship before the ship gets hit big, you know? So I think what I encourage everybody to do is to do what you can to support and sustain your industry, but always remaining vigilant that you still owe it to your company to feel that you're doing the best for your own employees and for your company.
Very good advice. Very good. It's very hard to keep that balance, isn't it?
Yes.
So most of us, of course, that if you're a part of the WBENC network, and you're certified as a woman-owned business, then obviously you're a woman. But a lot of you are also moms, and so you wear two CEO hats. And we have two online business entrepreneurs here who wear that mom hat also. So, Miss Julie, I'm gonna start with you. And I know it's very hard because are your schools closed in your area?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So how are you working with focusing your children while you're still focused on your company?
It's a very good question, Tara. Thank you. Well, first and foremost, and most importantly, we're maintaining social distancing and staying in quarantine. That's the most important thing. And we're absolutely following guidelines and the recommendations from our local public health office and CDC. And of course, making sure my children are taking their vitamins. We're eating at home, cooking food, all natural. Yes, avoiding anything from outdoors or any frozen food, cooking everything fresh.
Very good. Very
yes.
good.
And absolutely wearing a medical grade mask when I have to go outside to go shopping.
Great.
Yes.
And then we have Miss Juliet. So how has it affected your day-to-day operations by having the children home with you? Miss Juliet.
Yes. Hi, everybody. First thing is getting adjusted to Zoom. And like Miss Marcy Klein said, it does get a little bit intimidating and not being familiar and being in front of a camera. So Marcy, you're on point with that. And just evolving and understanding of what you're able to offer. Just as Marcy stated, like providing a virtual background or what services you're able to provide. But in addition to that, you know, we're just adjusting and trying not to have fear be the focal point here, and just give some hope and light to our children. And that is the most important thing. I feel like in this day and age, it's always something, there's one over the other, and nobody's really taking into consideration the effect that this has on our children, and how, you know, their brains are like sponges and they absorb everything, and the character and the things that we go through as an adult in this time, and all the things that they're bombarded with is having an effect on them. So when adults are actually making decisions, they should really take into consideration of how this is going to affect the life of that child. And that, you know, if there is a pandemic like this that is occurring, that it should be taken seriously and not to, I guess, create things that can have a huge effect on our children. And being away from school is one of those things. And when you ladies say this might go on for years and years, you know, I really hope it does not, because I hope that our children do have to enjoy that interaction that they get from learning from people and communicating with people and talking with people. So I do hope that this does not go on for many years and years.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Ms. Juliet. I appreciate that. So Before we actually start taking any other questions from the attendees, which, by the way, you can go ahead and click Q&A at the bottom of your Zoom screen and put that in there, and it will come up for us to be able to answer. I'm just going to go around the room. I'm going to start at the top corner and keep going. And all I'm asking for, ladies, is just one word. I want one word that you consider to be advice to your fellow WBENC community and to others that are either operating a business or in general, just in general. It can be anybody, but what is one word? Keep it to one word. And we'll start. So everybody unmute so we can get this rolling fast. And Amy.
Faith.
Lauren.
Believe.
April.
Patience.
Julie.
Sustainability.
Pamela.
Compassion.
Kristen.
Love.
Leticia.
Resilience.
Joan.
Focus.
Bonni.
Perseverance.
Marianne.
Open.
Juliet.
Healing.
Marcy.
Hope.
All are extremely powerful words. They're so powerful. And I thank all of you all. So our attendees, thank you guys very much for attending. They are open to questions in any particular industry. If you have any questions or anything, please feel free to ask. And we'll give it a little bit. If anybody has something to say, raise your hand so we don't cut you off, and go ahead and start saying it. All right, go ahead, Ms. Juliet.
Thank you, everybody, for coming and joining the Zoom webinar chat and having all of the amazing smart ladies get their point across. And thank you, Tara, for all the constant emails that we've been reading and just trying to get on with in addition to our schedule and our home schedule and everything else. So I do hope that people do get adjusted to this new form of communication. It is really wonderful, but I do also hope that we get to go outside and enjoy playing outside again. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Miss Marianne.
Tara, there's a question here in the chat that I just want to toss out really fast because I saw it twice now. What are some of the precautions you recommend taking when your company is considered essential and work is continuing from a legal standpoint that protects company owners from potential lawsuits? For example, do you have customers sign a waiver that requires to acknowledge they understand the risk? This is a lot for essential companies. I thought Lauren might want to take that. The thing I know, I coach a couple of CEOs that have big plants, 77 to 100 people in that plant. So I know that they are working very closely with their HR director. If someone communicates a concern, there's a certain way that communication is handled. When they're communicating out to the employees, that communication is checked. So with all CEOs, if you need to remain in business, you can't send everyone home to work. You need to use HR professionals and be very careful legally. Lauren, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, you know, when we talked about our field workers and the plan that we put into place, it's our COVID-19 response plan. And we are providing that to all of our customers and our clients so that they understand what we've all agreed to and the practices that we agreed to put into place while we're working on those job sites. So the 100% PPE at all times, how many people we're going to allow to ride in a skip, how often we're having our toolbox talk or safety huddles. This is all laid out in our particular business plan for our COVID-19 response plan. We're sending that out to everybody. So, you know, that was recommended to us. And, you know, like Marianne said, definitely get with a HR professional, get with your lawyer, make sure that you're not putting anybody in harm's way. You know, like I talked about with constant communication, I'm also communicating to our staff, no one's going to make you work. No one's going to wants to make you feel uncomfortable. So if you do not want to work, it will not be held against you. So again, just communicate that to your employees as well.
Right. Miss Pamela.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, if you've got somebody who's on your team who's rattled, upset, off center, the first thing you need to do, no matter what, is listen to understand and don't try to solve the problem or have the answer. They're not really listening for that. Until someone feels completely heard, there is no space for acknowledge. You just have to acknowledge the upset and let that happen. And then when you do have an opportunity to speak, be sure that you're asking clarifying questions and bring your caring and your interest and some curiosity to that conversation, because if somebody doesn't feel heard, there is no space to repair anything. So let that fully happen first.
Very good advice, Miss Pamela. Amy, I'm not going to have you answer that one. I'm not meaning to cut you off, but you have 2 questions that just came up in the chat. So it says, Amy, why is oral D? And then the next question follow right behind that, because I don't know these terminologies. Why is oral fluid a better option for toxicology? That came from Miss Abby.
You're muted.
You're muted. Amy, you're muted.
There we go. I'm sorry, I didn't click that right. I think this is questions from Abby. Hi, Abby. Great questions. Oral fluid is the new wave of toxicology testing. We all know that we use it for DNA. It took a while for it to get out there, but it's safer, non-invasive, easy to collect, and it's going to give you what drugs or what drugs or alcohol that you've done now, and COVID actually, and what you've done last week. So you're getting a double bang for your buck, so to say. It's easier to use, and we use it in forensics, and this is where we got our patents, because when you die in the forensic world, it's you don't know what you're getting involved with. You don't know, with the carfentanyls and all the different phenologs that are out there, if you touch this stuff, you can die in an instant, and you're going to be Narcaned. In the clinical setting, it's the same thing. A lot of folks are taking drugs and alcohol, and again, with the COVID virus, we don't know what they have. Most of us don't even know if we have COVID or not. We're walking around just fine. So we like the oral fluid because it's easy to collect, it's quick, it's fast. Our turnaround is 24 to 48 hours, as opposed to other toxicology testing that I've done with blood and urine and everything else that we use in our repertoire. It takes so long to get the results back. It's expensive, and we can't be late. We've got to hurry up. We've got to change the way we do science, and that's what we've done. We've actually kind of disrupted the industry, so to speak, with our technology, because it's so simple, stupid, that people think, well, it can't be that good. It's so good that we got 3 U.S. patents and 2 pending right now in the U.S. So, I like it because it's cheaper, faster, easier, safer, and especially for our folks that are passing away, we want to make sure that people are holding these bodies, and they have to, because we don't know what to do yet, and we're still trying to figure that out, how long this virus is going to live on somebody or in somebody.
Hey, Tara, we're going into overtime right now, but I want to acknowledge 2 questions. One was a request. Can we get a copy of the COVID-19 response plan via email? And I know quite a few CEOs, they've taken the public health standards and then applied it to their business and customized it. Lauren, can you add to that? And then we'll go to the second question, which is advice for the auto industry. I have a couple of thoughts there. Lauren, do you want to add anything, or anybody else that has a COVID plan?
No, I can add I can send down my plan template to Tara for her to distribute.
Outstanding. So if anyone has a COVID template, and also everyone that has one, please send it to Tara. That way we can support Vicki. And Debbie had a question, any advice for the auto industry? In my past life, I've worked with Volkswagen, Audi, Kia. I would give 3 suggestions quickly if you're in the auto industry. Number 1, uber proud of a friend of mine, Angela Cepeda, who's the chief marketing officer for Hyundai. Right now, they came out with the Hyundai Protection Assurance Plan. If you purchase a car or lease a car, they'll cover you for 6 months. I think what the messaging there has everything to do with know where your customers are at and how can you help them? How can you ease their load? How can you reduce their pressure? Because people will always remember what you did. And so that would be my primary piece, a suggestion for the auto industry. And I'll open it up to any other CEOs that want to add.
Miss Pamela, did you have anything you wanted to add to that? Okay. All right.
No, other than if you're doing business planning, then I certainly have a template for that, because if your business has changed dramatically, you should be rethinking in the new normal what that might look like going forward. Whether we have COVID or don't have COVID, you still will be wanting to rethink.
Right, because of the showrooms, the whole how do you buy a car? I mean, everybody's having to pivot and rethink right now. So this is, everyone's back at the drawing board trying to figure out in this interim period. And I don't want to frighten anybody on the call, Julie, this is not the forever. This is a short period of time. Hopefully it will slowly be able to be relaxed. We have heard all different kinds of quotes from experts, May, June. I'm not the expert, but I didn't want you to think your poor children are going to be in the house for 2 years. That's not
I think,
really
right. And I think honestly,
I always
with
want them in my house, always.
right. So across the globe, the dates constantly are changing as scientists and medical professionals are learning much more about the COVID-19, how to treat, who it's affecting. So across the globe, and of course it's going to affect across the globe, our businesses nonstop, whether it's a current effect, a trickle down effect, either way. So I'm going to cherish everyone's time. I know it's extremely valuable, and not to cut this short, we will answer any more questions that come in. Although I do want to answer some simple ones that will kind of resolve a few things. One, yes, this will be recorded. We will put it on the website so you can go and take a look at it. That is pinkshoesisters.com. So also there you can find out any information about any of the panelists today and be able to reach out to them. We will also put a link on that site instead of direct emailing, because quite a few said they want it and quite a few have not answered. We will put a link and allow you to download these resources. As Pamela has offered a sample of a business plan for, kind of any of those that need to change theirs. We always put a plan in place, and we always need a plan B, so we always do some changing. And then also Ms. Lauren has said that you would share your COVID-19 plan. Remember, that's not a plan that might fit completely 100% to your business. So consult an HR professional and make sure that you adjust it to fit your business. She's only offering to share hers with you. So are there, there's another question that kind of popped up in here.
Tara, I'll put Zoom Maximizer up there also, an invite to that, because I'm seeing in the chat some people are asking for that.
Yes.
I also want to point out that if you don't have if you aren't looking at the chat, all of our email addresses and names and business names are there.
Yes.
So you can take a screenshot of that and have it all.
I put that in the chat. Debbie actually said that she's written down all the names to be able to contact each of you.
Yes, thank you.
And so now we're going to come back. There's a question here from Miss Marcy. She said, do you create videos for social media and or see any marketing trends with other people at home doing it?
We do a lot of social media videos, a lot of marketing videos, businesses that want to talk about what they do, and we make them specifically for the internet, for social media, for Instagram, for Facebook, for LinkedIn. And one of the things that I'm trying to focus on right now, in addition to the Zoom thing that we've talked about, is doing animated videos. I think that's something that's going to be a lot more popular right now, because it's something we can do without interaction. There's so many different styles of animation that are out there, and they're so creative, and we can do almost any kind that the imagination has. So I think that's a good way. But if you still want to do one-on-one or other kinds of videos, definitely reach out to me, and I'll talk with you directly about the ideas that you have, because we're open to everything.
Great. I think Marianne also asked you a question in chat. She said, Marcy, can you talk a little bit about marketing during a time of fear and what they need to be aware of?
Yeah, it's interesting. I was very hesitant at first to actually do any kind of marketing, because I felt like it was a little bit insensitive. But then I started watching television and watching, the car commercials. And so I do believe that there's a new approach to marketing with a sensitivity to it, with understanding of where we're all at. But I do think that businesses do need to keep their name out there. Like Amy was saying, she just put her website out, and she's just trying to get the word out about who she is. I think many businesses need to continue to get the word out, but maybe with their new message, with the sensitivity towards the virus.
You guys, I'm hearing from corporates that are still trying to source goods and services. So do not stop talking to your prospects that are in your pipeline, to your current clients. How can you be of service? And because they may not be adding too many new, are there other resources you can recommend to your current clients and be of service? So I know once you've got settled down with your family and your needs and your employees, definitely continue to keep communicating with customers and potential customers in the right way.
Very true. I want to encourage everybody that's part of this. As you can see, these women have developed a great sisterhood, and they offer a lot of different resources, a lot of different connections. Don't stop. Keep doing that, because together we will survive, as April said. If we all bond together, support each other, help each other, offer some insight, offer a piece of advice. If nothing else, offer an ear to listen. Miss Pamela.
I just wanted to say, I have the privilege of being the first chapter in the book that's coming out. And my chapter is about it takes a village. And this definitely is a village. You need your village now more than ever. So
true.
Have your social time remotely, but have social time.
You know, Miss Pamela said something the other day. I believe it was you, Miss Pamela, if I'm not misquoting you. And I thought it was a great something to share. Even socially, having some time just to even have a quick snack or meal or a glass of wine or a cup of coffee with a colleague, with your peers, with a potential client, whether it's or friends or family, it really matters. Even though you can't go and have it with them, you can, because of technology. And which makes me want to say thank you, Leticia, for still working. That 5G, it's like perfect timing. If it wasn't out there to help with the bandwidth, our internet would have crashed because of this pandemic. And so thank you and your company for that. Can't thank you guys enough, because that's how I do my business day to day. Kristen, you were going to say something and you were muted. So I apologize. But I know you had something that you wanted to say. And I believe you also had something that you wanted to share with the listeners.
I'm not sure what I have to say, but I do have something to share with you listeners.
Okay.
I am offering, so I work with singing bowls, and they balance your chakras and your energy system. And I am offering sessions at a discounted price, or energy exchange, however we can work something out. So you can reach me via email or my contact information in the chat.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And you'll have to do a little research. I can't tell you exactly what all she does, but I do know that it's great exercises that she's had me do. That's helped me refocus and regroup. Marianne, you have a question that's directed to you. If somebody wanted some guidance from you, and they want to know the best way to reach out to you.
I would say the best way to reach out to me is through my email, which is Marianne. So you can see my name on the screen, Marianne at CEO Success Community, or you can go on the Pink Shoe Sister. Tara, do you have
PinkShoeSisters.com? Yes, I do have all of your content.
So I would say the best way to reach out to me is either through the emails that Tara provided in the chat, or through the Pink Shoe Sister, or just if you can write it down, it's MARIANNE, Marianne at CEOSuccessCommunity.com. And I wanted to just say thank you to Tara. She took her time to she's guiding us through the book. So TS Publishing and Tara Jenkins, and she put her time together to do this virtual panel. And I also saw Leticia's hand up, so I want to make sure she gets a chance perhaps to have the next word.
Thanks, Marianne. I just wanted to say and share with you, it's not a shootout to my podcast, but I do have a podcast called Back to Basics. And I think it's important because I find that this time is an opportunity to reconnecting with whom we are. That's the essence of the podcast, reconnecting with our passion, and take this opportunity just to tapping into your inner child, as KBC said, and see what you're passionate about and take the opportunity to reinvent yourself. And I have April's episode is publishing tomorrow, and I have almost all of these wonderful ladies already taped or coming up in there. So if you want to know more about them, just make sure to check out the podcast. Thank you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And it is so true. We are kind of getting back to some basics. Go ahead, Miss Marianne.
a fast shout out to Marcy, not just to thank her for the background. And I had Marcy's background until my husband, who's a corporate at Western Digital, took away the computer that was able to use the background. So there you have it, a little co-mingled marriage here. But if you are representing different RPOs out there, this is in the WeBank world, there are some corporates that are interested in Marcy's services as it relates to taking our capability statements and migrating them to video capability statements. So we have a lot of people from across the US that are on board. And I just want to let you know that that's something that, as we are looking at digital corporate contracting, that is something that's being considered. And, you know, again, I would have used her background if my husband hadn't taken the computer. But she is terrific at what she does, as well as everybody on this call. You can trust them.
Please define RPO for people who might not know.
Oh, regional partner organization, which just means, here, I'll try to show it up. In the WeBank world, we're cut up like this. And so we're national, but we have a local chapter or a region chapter. I'm just saying, if you have any resources, help any of these wonderful CEOs on the line.
That's right. That's right. If we stick together, we will get through this.
Yes.
As a group of women that own businesses, as a society, as moms, as just friends. So that's no doubt.
Shall pass.
Exactly.
Thank you, Tara.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tara.
So ladies, I'm going to bring this to an end. It seems like our questions have dwindled down. Although, again, I can't state this enough. We will have it recorded. It was never meant to tell you how to run your business. It was meant to give you some insight on how others are doing it, and so that you can take what applies to you and let it fit. And so we hope everybody has much success and endures this crisis and gets through it. And if we can be of any assistance, any of us, I can tell you all you need to do is reach out, because we all love to give back. And if there's anything Bonni has brought to the table and taught us from the beginning, was pay it forward. And so Bonni, thank you for that little lesson.
Yep.
I appreciate that. Joan, you did have a comment back in the very beginning that's probably got buried. It says, God bless you because you're in New York City. So we know that you're enduring a lot there, as New York normally does. But ladies, again, thank you all for joining the panel discussion today. I know that took valuable time out of your business and your focus. I want to thank everybody for attending it. And I hope that we brought some piece of information that you can find useful and take back. So again, thank you all. Don't forget, check out the Pink Shoe Sisters with an S.com, and you can get all the resources and be able to reach out to any of us. Thank you all again, and have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Much love to everyone.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Good luck, everyone. Be safe.